Sports Talk on Trib Live Radio. Now, here's Ken Laird and Guy Junker.
What? Did we just become best friends?
Yep. On Sports Talk on Trib Live Radio.
Yeah. Turn up the heat.
Go on and get some, boys.
Come on.
Trib Total Media. See what's next.
Tim Dierkes from MLB Trade Rumors with the trade deadline Friday. We appreciate you holding, Tim. And the Pirates have been active somewhat here and kicking some tires. What, if anything, are you hearing going forward as to guys they may be in on?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. Well, I think the Ben Zobrist rumor definitely has merit. I think Zobrist probably has a little bit more competition from other clubs than some of Neil Huntington's past summer acquisitions, but I think that one has legs, and I wouldn't be surprised if the team added some kind of complement at first base as well.
The rumors that were pretty hot about them shopping Pedro Alvarez around seem to have died down. Was he on the market to your knowledge, and if so, is he kind of back off now?
I mean, those are the reports, and that's kind of all we've got. I'm not any more plugged in than those people who are doing those reporting, even though there is kind of that frustrating back and forth. I would think that anybody you're going to get at first base in terms of hitting right-handed pitching is not really going to be much better than Pedro Alvarez. Maybe a Adam LaRoche or something, bringing him back isn't really going to help you. So I do think it makes sense to go after, your Mike Napoli, who could also be traded in August, or maybe Willeen Rosario from the Rockies, just as somebody who can mash lefties.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring up August. Huntington's got a track record of waiting a little bit longer. I guess the money comes down a bit in that sense, and Napoli's cost so much, he's going to clear waivers, won't he?
Yeah, he absolutely will. We saw in 2013 with the Marlon Byrd and Justin Morneau type of moves. That is definitely something in his playbook, and I think Napoli is a great candidate for that.
What do you think the Pirates need the most?
I don't really think that the Zobrist is their biggest need. Just I think they kind of just got to hang in there for the better part of a month with that injury. So I'd probably put it at that compliment for Alvarez. I mean, it's a fairly complete team. I know that you could probably do a little bit better than Polanco, at least against left-handed pitching or something. But that's another situation where you can add a bench bat to kind of help out in that regard. The rotation, I mean, I guess you could call it a big need, but if you don't picture the Pirates going after a David Price, then, the Mike Leakes and Dan Herons of the world aren't necessarily better than what they have. So, within the realm of what Huntington has done before, I don't know if the rotation makes a ton of sense.
Back to Zobrist for a second, Tim. What do you think he'll cost? We've seen some trades here already. I mean, he's not Cueto, he's not Tulowitzki, but could he be coveted enough that the price is pretty high on him?
I think the price could probably be a top 100 type of prospect. A lot of these deals, except maybe for the true marquee guys, they go down for prospects that, most of us even who cover baseball aren't super familiar with. So, I don't really think the Pirates' top 3 or 4 prospects are going to be in play here, and I still think they can still be in the mix for Zobrist.
Although top 100, that's probably their 5th or 6th best prospect, right? They have a good farm system, and that would be a hit for them.
Yeah, I mean, they're certainly, equipped to make that deal without it stinging as much as it might hurt, a different team that had a weaker farm system.
Gotcha. Well, who else is in on Zobrist? I mean, there are several teams around him, right?
Yeah, I think both New York teams are looking at him. I think the Cubs and Royals, from all the reports, he seems like a pretty hot commodity. So I think the A's are just kind of going to sit there and pull the trigger, whenever they feel that they've got the best offer, and it'll definitely happen this week.
Gotcha.
Does the fact that more teams are interested in him push his price up to where it might scare the Pirates off?
I'd say so. Yeah. I don't think the Pirates necessarily had to deal with that, when they were acquiring like a Wandy Rodriguez or Morneau or some of these guys in past summers, or maybe they were in on some of the better players and kind of settled. So, unless they go a little bit out of their comfort zone, I could see them being priced out on Zobrist.
Did the Tulowitzki deal really surprise you, Tim? And I mean, for a team that's loaded with offense, is there a second part coming? They've got a pitcher on the way somewhere else.
Yeah, I think so. I think they are going to grab a pitcher, the Blue Jays. It definitely surprised me. If I had made a list of teams I thought might go after Tulowitzki or acquire him, the Blue Jays probably wouldn't have been on it. That said, I do think strengthening a strength is totally valid. I mean, I've seen it written, runs are runs, and I agree with that. Just put a few more runs on the offensive end with a much better hitter at shortstop, and that can be as good as adding that pitcher. But the two things are not mutually exclusive. They've still got the chips to go ahead and get that pitcher, and I'd be pretty surprised if they didn't get somebody by Friday.
How about bullpen pieces? There are a lot of them out there, aren't there? This is kind of a buyer's year for bullpen arms.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a long list of guys. I think, too, if you're the type of team that is willing to take on some money, you can go after like Jonathan Papelbon or K-Rod type of guy. Or I think the Mets with Clippard, he was a bit of a pricier pickup. But it's a pretty deep list of relievers.
What team do you think, over what's happened in the last week, has helped themselves the most so far? Has there been any, in your mind, Tim, any balance of power shift here in the last week?
Yeah, I might have to say that the Royals picking up Johnny Cueto, he's just such a huge upgrade in their rotation. He gives them that true ace. You're looking at a playoff series, him starting multiple times. They just didn't have a guy like that. So I don't know if they're American League favorites, but that's a huge boost, and that's my pick.
Well, Tim Dierkes, you got a great site, MLB Trade Rumors. It's your one-stop shop. Deals like this Tulowitzki trade, Tim, happen at midnight. People got to check you out at 6 a.m. when they get up ready to go for work so they know what they missed.
Yeah, we got to get our 24/7 coverage going. It's crazy.
Thanks for coming on, Rod, and we appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Tim Dierkes there of MLB Trade Rumors, and a busy day.